What you see is what you get.
WFNG
Fly nerds. You see it and say it. Yeah, you see black excellence and intelligence we now combine. Fly nerds on the verge of connecting the minds. North, south, east, west over digital lines. Catalogs of the culture inside. Seen it with our own eyes. We done been through the trends and phases. The names and the legacy, the changing faces. We can't talk shop, only dealing the truth. You tuning in to the Fly Nerd group, so let the peoples in. Yeah.
WFNG
FNG.
Fly Nerd Radio.
Yeah, so let the people in.
WFNG Fly Nerd Radio.
Ready or not,
Here I come.
you can't hide. Hey, I always used to imagine Carlton Banks
Okay.
singing like all the various hip hop songs. Like imagine Carlton Banks
In his style,
in
Carlton
his,
Banks
like the way
style,
Carlton Banks be singing. So like he come in like
Frank
um,
Sinatra.
I bomb atomically, Socrates, philosophies, and high prophecies.
Prophecies. Hey,
Yeah, can't
hey.
define how I be dropping these mockeries.
Hey, that actually, that probably would have worked if he, they had that shit in those little high prestigious like bars and shit.
I mean, yeah, because like they was talking. I forgot who the dude was. That British cat, the British guy. What the fuck is his name? That be like, he was breaking down how like Jizza and Wu-Tang lyrics is like high science, and he was sitting in one of the I think Harvard or Oxford or some shit.
Yeah.
Probably Oxford since it was over there.
Right,
But,
right.
yeah, he was breaking that down, and it's true. Like if you really go back to certain MCs and their lyrics,
No, there's science behind it.
they're
I
going
mean,
deep.
Jizza himself, he teach
He teaches physics,
physics. Yeah, he
Mhm.
teaches physics, and
and
he
it's in his
based some of
bars.
his rhymes off his bars.
Mhm.
And I don't know if y'all follow the Fly Nerd Group Instagram page. I have recently posted this verse with the RZA, man. That's why I say the RZA kind of my favorite out the Wu-Tang, because the
Which
shit
version?
he say, all verse. See, that's the whole thing. Is a lot of versions. If you got to say which version, then
Yeah,
that
that's
motherfucker
already.
cold.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
care, good or bad. If you say which version, then all versions, nigga, he cold because he had to have versions. It's like it's not something cut and dry. Since you
Yeah.
say versions, okay, there's the RZA. You're the sharpest one in the deck. He the head. No, just
Mhm.
the head. Just the head.
Yeah,
But then there's the Resurrector,
the
where he
resurrection.
created another offbeat, darker style.
Insane,
Yeah,
insane persona.
yeah.
Then Bobby Digital,
Bobby Digital, little
which is a play on his
flashy, weird. Yeah,
on his real name. You know what I'm saying? Honorable name.
it,
Robert Diggs.
exactly. So now he digital, Bobby. Digital.
And
But he
then
had some
then you got to
shit
go
on
back to
there.
Prince Rakeem.
And then Prince Rakeem, exactly.
Yeah,
Prince
yeah.
Rakeem. So, and he spearheaded a legendary group with a plan that was totally different from what Boot Camp Click displayed, of just going in one by one, rook
Or
by rook,
DITC.
or DITC, that was a little bit more separate. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This was more of a collective art piece. And then these art pieces could go and live in other
Live happily,
styles. Yeah,
independent.
yeah.
Because remember,
Yeah.
his goal was to put each member of Wu-Tang on a different record. He wanted to basically saturate the record industry. Every label had an artist
Yep.
from Wu-Tang.
Yeah. That's making top of the line music. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So yeah, and it spearheaded them to do that. Ghost, Meth, Inspector Deck. It's still the crew too. So they had come back and do crew albums. So
And all the
it-
extended family. I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
Nowadays I think TDE tried to do that at one point, Black Hippie.
yeah, let's get into it.
They tried
Ladies
to
and
do that.
gentlemen and ladies, you are now in tune to
The most unsaturated podcast. The most unsaturated.
in the universe. WFNG Fly Nerd Radio.
Cannons to the left. Cannons to the right.
They look like Galvatron.
Galvatron and Starscream, arm guns. I
Yes,
ain't.
yes, yes. We are the Fly Nerd Group. We are your tour guides for the Black Cultural Experience. I'm glad that you're here with us. We will be your hosts for this lovely event. I am Cosmo Galactus, the final boss, aka Galvatron. Cosmo Galvatron.
Cosmo Galvatron. That's ill. And yeah, I'm Fly Nerd Ambi, and I'm Hiss Tank Starscream, swatting you pathetic fools, because there's no escape.
No escape.
Yeah, that imagery in that panel where he's literally swatting humans.
Yeah, yeah.
That's etched into my brain. That's a moment that will stay with me forever.
But that's what it's supposed to be. It's
Hmm.
Decepticons. They always don't like humans. They think, even in the cartoon, they was talking about the structure of buildings. It was like, oh, this texture is so weak. This
Yeah,
texture is brittle. Yeah, these
hmm
humans are squishable,
yeah,
squishy.
they're useless,
Yeah, they're useless
pathetic life forms.
according to the bigger plan, which is,
Inner
their
giant.
conquest, their
Yeah.
background.
Hmm.
If you're an alien that could stand against that texture of being, then you win. You're a fair fight to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're the inferior race to them. And yeah, Starscream. That's why I said that particular. And we're talking about Transformers 14. That was we talked about on the last episode for the folks at home. But yeah, that particular scene became a horror scene.
Very, 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 very much. I mean, that was if we were to get that level of rawness in a live action. I mean, I'm wishful thinking. I know it's impossible because Michael Bay is the one that has the IP right now for the films, and I don't think he will ever go in that direction.
Right.
However, the idea of the fact that at the end of the day, the Decepticons truly are they would be totally terrifying to humans. Like it's not going
Yeah.
to be like the Autobots, and even with the Autobots, all the Autobots don't fuck with humans either. It's only some of them.
Exactly,
It's only
exactly.
some
It's
of them.
only some of them, but a lot of them, like I think Sideswipe don't fuck with
Nah,
them.
Sideswipe do not like
Yeah, I
humans.
think he didn't like him. He didn't-
Jazz was kind of neutral. Jazz didn't fuck
yeah,
with
he
him, but
cool.
he liked to show off, so he liked that they liked looking at him.
They like the music, and he could tap into the culture. So
Yeah,
he's more cultural guy. So he black, you know what
he
I
yeah
mean?
he
So
played into that.
he'll play into that. But like
Like
Ironhide, he wasn't
he ain't
too
fuck with them.
human
He didn't
friendly.
fuck with
Yeah,
humans until he saw that time
what they did
that
to
Spike's dad,
Spike's
Spike's
dad.
dad.
And I think in the comic books is what they did to Sunstreak. I know Sunstreak don't like humans.
Nah, and so none of that crew, Sunstreak, Sideswipe, what's dude that also be rolling with them? Cliff Jumper.
Cliff Jumper,
Yeah,
yeah.
they don't fuck with
They're
humans.
more for the fighting and for the pride of
Yeah.
their selves.
They
But yeah.
respect that Prime said protect humans,
Yeah, they get it
but they
out
ain't
of
fucking
the
with
nah, they ain't fucking with it.
they ain't
So
fucking around. And it's legitimately so. If you
they're
think about
aliens.
it,
They're aliens.
yeah.
And that's
And
why
not
I look at it. It's like no matter what form it is, they're aliens and they got their own free will. It's not. It's like
yeah,
okay,
they're not behooving
yeah,
or beholden to our concepts of even even the concepts like a lot of the things that we take for granted and a lot of the social constructs because a lot of times we get into social constructs but they always lean in one direction. But the truth is the social constructs lead into the things that we identify as what constitutes morality, for example.
okay,
And morality is very much a biased concept in and of itself because morality always plays into whoever's in power and control. That's why they got that statement that says, if you want to know who's your master, look at who you can't criticize.
hmm,
So if you think about our society, if you identify who you can't criticize, that's who has power over you in your life.
hmm,
That's
hmm.
that's the secret. So yeah, man, it's like humans have these constructs that we've identified, and it's all based on power bases and who's in control and how they want to maintain their power structure.
Got
Aliens pull up, Transformers pull up.
that power is stripped.
They don't have that. They have a totally
Yeah,
different power base and a totally
yeah,
different idea of what they value.
yeah.
So you pulling up like, oh well, like in all the movies they was like, oh well, this is America. You just can't march in
Yeah,
here
you
and do.
just can't come here and do this the
We
crazy
have
stuff.
laws. It's like, you
Yeah.
don't fuck about your
So
laws.
what?
Man.
Yeah, your laws. I don't care about
Like,
that shit.
we got our own laws. Can you transform, motherfucker?
Right? Can you do this? We're the advanced beings here, nigga. Like,
Right.
who are you?
Like sit down and shut up. Like
Yeah.
that was in Day the Earth Stood Still. You know, that was an example.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a good
Mm-hmm.
movie. And it was about the fact that the alien pulled up and he was coming to assess. He hadn't made a determination whether or not he was going to be aggressive or whether or not humans were, whether he was going to make peace or he was going to
Oh, you
decimate.
gonna take over the planet? Yeah.
But they made the decision for him, trying to make him submit to their rules and regulations. And so they, they came for him. And you know what I'm saying? It was like over. It was like, nah, nigga, like, let me show you, you shot me. I got contingencies in place that I don't even have to react. From the
Yeah.
moment you
Yeah.
came for me, my defense mechanisms activated. Chicago
And it
got
was
a
a
whole different
mistake.
defense mechanism.
Yeah, it's a total mistake at the very start.
Just don't fuck around. So
Or
yeah,
fuck
that
around
was.
and find out.
Mhm. So we need to be aware of that when we be pulling up with our hubris, which is a normal thing. We think that even amongst
Just
each
think
other,
that you could just conquer shit.
dictate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dictate and control the whole show. And when it's like, nah, man, not at all.
Mm-mm.
When the tables is flipped and you lose that power, you know you lost that because the dude was like, hey,
Yeah.
oh, hold up, man. Just hold up. And Starscream calm as a cucumber,
SWAT.
like, nah,
SWAT.
cat.
And that's when you know too when it's the calm. The calm, when the
Mhm.
calm sets in, and this is the person that you think you have power over, and
Mhm.
they're calm while you're trying
Mhm.
to enforce power.
Yeah.
It's like that
Yeah.
cat, the one that be doing all the rah rah, and then the other cat is just kind of like,
Just quiet, chilling.
just kind of,
Yeah.
quietly sizing up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then pow.
Pow.
So
Ooh, quick with it too. Didn't
over.
even know. Didn't
Didn't
even
even know.
see it. Because you two thinking
Too
about what you're
busy.
gonna say next.
Too busy dictating. Too busy dictating.
Yeah, you got
Dictating and
slapped up.
dictating, all one and the same.
Ah. So yeah, before we did the intro, we was gonna jump into the TDE thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, little
Well,
surprise drop.
surprise drop, but not a surprise drop. We knew it was coming, and we
Yeah, we
already
knew.
we already had talked about the fact that he's gonna do the end of the year last
Yep.
last hurrah before the end. So he can get
Yeah.
shut shit down. Like that's a very
With that
they
and the
did
Super
it.
Bowl coming,
Yeah,
Super
it's
Bowl coming,
timing.
so might as
It
well
had to
just
be
have them,
dropped.
yeah, drop it now. So a little earlier than expect. I expected it next month, but nah, it's here. I actually
No, he
expected
had to
it
do it
on the
this
day
month.
of.
He could have did it in December, but he was cutting it close with the deadline.
Oh yeah, the deadline as well. So
Right,
right.
for the
So
awards.
he had
He
to
had to
drop the
do it
body of music to get all
to
these
get the
Grammys he about
official.
to
Yep.
accumulate.
He
Yeah.
about to do it. Hey,
Smart
listen.
man.
First, hey, they not like us is not on here,
None of those songs are on here.
and I'm glad.
So yeah, me too. So this is Kendrick Lamar. He dropped a new album called GNX, and I don't even know what that means. I didn't even look into it.
Grand National. This the car. So quietly. That's who's recently made that car super popular. That was the car that was a part of all the Run the Jewels promos, and that was the car that they
Oh,
made. They used the Grand National, which I thought was interesting because they already did the Grand National thing. So for him to pull up with the Grand National thing was kind of like they did that for like several
but
albums.
there's a few things with this album that he, I would say, absorbed from other artists, and I found that, well, this particular body of work, you say don't get in too deep into it, but
No, you can get into it. Get into it. This is
I listened to it a couple times, one on the way home, and then, after everything settled, I listened to it again
yeah.
because I knew it was going to do the pod the next day. So I was like, fuck it. I think it was all right. I
That's a good
think
assessment. It was mid.
that's a good assessment.
Yeah.
I think it was all right. I mean, I don't think it wasn't too much blown me away. Like, okay, it's different. Like you said, he didn't put the Not Like Us on there. He didn't put the Family Matters, whatever that shit. That shit dangerous. But you
Yeah, he
know, he
left
didn't put
those
none
where
of
they
the
were.
battle songs. Yeah, he left those where they were,
Hmm.
and it worked out for his, you know, whatever. But these songs are more concentrated songs and stuff. And
This
he
is
has
more of a
some,
project. This
yeah,
is a very
yeah,
solid
it's
project.
more project, and he has shots in there as well, but it's not directed
It's
per
nameless.
se.
They're nameless
Yeah,
shots.
it's
I mean,
nameless.
you know who he talking about,
Except
but
he did mention Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne responded like he gonna fire him up or something.
yeah, man, I don't even know why he did that. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't know why he did that. Like, it's just like that's why I told you. Like, one of the things that I have with Kendrick, like, dude, you good? Why? Why would you randomly take a shot at Wayne? Wayne ain't fucking with you. Wayne ain't saying
I don't
like
think that
Wayne.
was a shot. I think he
I
said
don't
it in the
know.
way
I don't
of the
know.
Super Bowl. You know, the Super Bowl happened. You know, Wayne felt his way
But
about
Wayne
it.
had a right to feel his way. That's his city, and you always
Okay,
respect a man in his own city.
right,
So
right,
you
right,
come into
right.
his city, you shouldn't be saying nothing. I don't
But he
care.
didn't
I
say
mean,
nothing. He said he listened to Carter 3, and his work felt like he let Lil Wayne down. It's the same thing with J.
yeah, like
Cole.
he because he passed him, surpassed him. That's how I
Yeah,
took it.
yeah.
That's how I took it. Like I feel like my shit let Lil Wayne
What
down.
red
See, that's
man
a
just
double
saying that
entendre.
freestyle? What red man just saying that freestyle? He said these new niggas they looked up to Lil Wayne.
But he looked up
Me,
to
I listened up to Billy Dance a Lil Fame.
Fame.
Like
Yeah,
yo, it's a totally different.
it's
So
a totally
if he
different
did
thing.
surpass Lil Wayne, it's like what Redman said. He was kind of like their idol. He was like their Jay-Z,
Yeah, he
sort of,
was.
you know. So this the guy that if you were in that industry, you wanted to be like. He was pumping out all that music consistently. It is what it is, you know. It's
It
just the
is what it is.
time.
That's what I mean. That's what he do. It's just sometimes I feel like it ain't always necessary.
But I don't think the firing back on Lil Wayne is necessary either. It's just like, you know, all right, it is what it is. But people are in their feelings now. And then,
Everybody,
of course, you know, different camps and different sides and shit like that. So
because this is
overall, without the drama, I think the music is just okay. He had a few heaters on there, but
the
it
hard
was it
part
was
six.
yeah, the hard part six is definitely one where he talked about the
Um,
TDE story. Shout out to Maxie because he informed me as well
the whole
that he's
history of what's going on.
yeah, he been off TDE for years, you
He's
know.
off, but he's still on it because he's a part owner.
He's a part owner. So
Yeah,
that's interesting,
which is
you
weird
know.
to me because if you invested in the label, why would you not? I
But
don't
you're
know.
not on it,
So like
you
you could
know,
be
so you're
making more
moving.
money. Like,
Yeah, I don't get it. Or I don't know. I don't know how that works.
there's more to it than that. I think it's things that we still don't
Because
know.
he's still part of Interscope. So, you know, if
Well,
you're
he's not a part of Interscope in the same way. He has a direct deal. He's no longer connected through Dre anymore.
right, right,
So the
right,
Dre
right.
deal is done. He's now the direct source. So he don't need
Yeah,
he there's no middleman for him now.
there's none. Nobody
None.
takes no
So
pies.
which means that all the dollars are his, which I get that. So that's but at the same time, if you're invested in the label, by you're pulling away from the label, it's like Wu Tang doing albums without Wu Tang records. You know, or Jay doing an album without Rock. You know, it's like
Yeah,
that's your
not
shit.
even going to throw Rockefeller on it. Like, nah. But I mean, yeah. So it's kind of weird that you're not on the label, but you're on a portion of the label. You get a percentage, and you really, I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know. I look at it like a front. It's like, nigga, you still on the label, nigga. Get your ass out of here. You just got an exclusive deal and shit. You know what I mean? Like, since
or
Interscope could give Westside a one album deal for Griselda, you know,
right,
that was
right.
Aftermath, Interscope. So, you know, you can work out your deals. The record label isn't what the record label was back then,
Different
es-
purpose, right?
especially now, how everything is going. And if you get enough leverage as an artist, you get to pull your negotiations for yourself, not the base for anyone else. You know, you set your deals your way, where
Hmm.
you could compensate the most and the best out the situation
Yeah.
versus anyone else. You know, you ain't no marketing. You ain't gonna fucking press a bunch of albums and have this
No, they're not even on that.
estimated value of physical purchases anymore like that. You know, shipping gold, shipping platinum. Like, nah, we ain't
Like,
shipping
yeah.
shit.
No.
So you're gonna make your deals the way it is. So back to this album, there was a few things that, he did this song called damn, what's the name of that song?
What's the subject?
He's the Tupac sounding song.
Yeah.
Reincarnated.
Yeah.
Reincarnated.
Mm.
It sounded like a Tupac song. I was like, all right. All right.
Yeah. I mean, remember I told you like this him as an artist. I know I see how his mind works. He definitely is concerned sometimes about the success. And this is to me a very much an album designed to cross over.
I think it's that, and I think it's a lot of West Coast victory lap type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This album sound very West Coast. And there's nothing wrong with that,
But no, but it's a very it's like if you like it's like P Rock and Common going into that 90s New York esque sound. This is
absolutely.
going into that 90s West Coast sound. This is
Yeah,
going back to
absolutely.
the days of Spice One,
Absolutely.
and
Yep. And
that's what it
that's
reminds
just
me of.
yeah. And some of the songs, his inflections, his cadence,
Hmm.
everything is super like Spice One shit. So if
And
you're
even
not
his
really,
accent seems stronger than on other albums,
yep,
which is weird to me.
yeah. So, you know, every album sound different, and I do give artists that credit. You know what I mean? When you make your album sound different than each
Oh,
each
he's a
each
creative.
project.
That's no question.
He a creative. So now I feel like he on his Kung Fu Kenny bag. He on his West Coast, just put it all on his shoulder type shit. And
His
it's
bars are
cool.
more straightforward. Like it's not as
Yeah.
much twisting and turning in his flow.
Yeah.
It's a lot more 8 bar, 4 8 bar counts.
Yeah.
Uh
Not too poetic as I
yeah,
used to.
he's not like you said in the very first song, he's not doing too much entendres.
Double
He's being
entendres.
yeah,
I'm
he said, I'm
going
coming
straight
straight. I want you to
forward.
hear me
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
cool. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The vibe, it's not my cup of tea all the way through.
Right.
It
Same.
hits sometimes, and some of them is like, all right, I probably won't necessarily want to hear this again.
But I could tell which record's going to be played on the radio. I
Yeah,
know which
yep.
songs going to be working in the clubs. That Luther sample. You know what I
Oh
mean? That's
yeah,
going
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
going to work.
Oh, he got
Um,
bangers on there.
yeah, he got
I
some
didn't like the
bangers
first
on.
song. I did not like the first song.
What, the wax off murals?
And I was wondering about I had a question about this. Even though he's saying like he didn't say no names, but he definitely was wiping like taking names off the top people's top lists. Like
Yeah,
murals, there's only one person that associates
yeah,
with murals,
yeah,
and
that's
so
yeah.
and I was like, what's going on here? Like, what do you like? That's what I'm saying. Like, what like is that your only goal? Like, he's like Lupe. They always talk about wanting to be the best and being better than everybody, but then they albums drop and it don't be that.
And don't be that. And then their accolades, like he said, the only one who congratulated me on that Super Bowl shit was Nas. Everyone else was like, I think he's looking for that sense of endearment of back in the day when a motherfucker was that motherfucker. Like
Yeah,
Redman right now, he's dropping freestyles and rhyming like
like
holy
nothing, like
shit.
nothing. He's
It's
back.
like this nigga snapping, dude.
He
No,
back.
he been doing this all
Yeah,
last
that's what I'm
year.
saying. But I mean,
Up
I
since
watched his
COVID.
bars, but his bars was
Yeah.
alright in the beginning.
But his all right, but now
His bars is back. He's bar none
Reggie
now. He's
Noble
at the
meets
level.
Redman again. I'll just put it
Yeah,
like that. Reggie Noble meets Redman again. And yeah, he's
he's
been
got
on
the
the
spark.
here lately. So, but do Kendrick, do he get that accolade? Like he got a fan base. These niggas going crazy on him.
He deserves the MC accolade, the lyricist accolade. Yes, he deserves it. He also deserves the respect for the fact that his albums are every album is a well curated project, even if it's not my favorite projects,
Mm-hmm.
even if
Mm-hmm.
they're not projects that I listen to repeatedly. Like I don't go back to most of his projects, not
Nah, me
since Section
either.
80. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
but they're well done. They're full projects. They have a beginning, middle, and end, and they
yep,
feel like complete albums.
yeah, yeah.
But the vibe, I mean, and again, that's why I appreciate it. If he's gonna give you something classic, and he's gonna say, "I'm gonna give you that West Coast sound," go for it. And those people that love that. You know, because
I know
I mean,
that's
I
gonna
know
get played everywhere out there because that's what I was listening to. I was like, demographically, the
that's a
music
world,
probably is not for everybody, but yeah, that world in particular, he's really going to captivate on that.
fam.
And
California is bigger than Great Britain and
yeah,
half of Ireland.
wow, that's crazy.
California is bigger than Germany.
That's
The
crazy.
state of
That's
California.
crazy. Yeah, the whole
I mean,
state.
like square mileage, like
Yeah,
get out of here. Like no.
that's a market in
So
itself.
so he's from a state that by repping the capital of that state, so to speak, LA, you know what I'm saying? By being from LA and pulling that, now you're saying that everybody that's West Coasting right now, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody that's West Coasting.
Right.
That's like he just conquered Germany. He just conquered the
Yeah.
UK.
Yeah. And that's what I
And
mean.
it's gonna bop everywhere else too.
Exactly. Cause I don't know, he had a couple that sound like not like us on there, same type of format of songs, the beat
Yeah.
and a couple of the hooks. I was like, yeah, all right. But this is definitely him putting that flag down if he didn't. And I think because of that battle stuff, it kind of triggered or catapulted some different type of marketing, for him. And he just ran with it. So it's
Yeah.
cool, you know, it's cool. A lot of fans is going crazy over it, and a lot of people is not, as usually be.
But I mean, that's what happens with artists like him. He's very polarizing
Mm-hmm,
because he
mm-hmm.
makes such avant-garde, auteur music. Like it's very stylized. Like it's it's Sin City. You know what I'm saying?
Right, there you go.
Oh, either you appreciate the black and white
Yeah, or you
or
just
you
skip over.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
or you don't. Either you appreciate noir or you
yeah,
don't.
or you
You
don't.
appreciate voiceover and that type of shit or you don't. And
Right.
his album is very much that. Like either you into that or you not. Cuz
He
he
got a song that sound like Nas one. What's that one, Mike?
yeah, yeah. One of the ones that hit me really hard that I was like, "Oh, check him out. That Gloria.
Yeah, nah, that was a joint I
I
like.
used to love her
Yeah,
basically. So
yeah,
I used to love
yeah,
her.
yeah,
A few people have been using that format since I used to love her, and his contribution to it is, also dope.
yeah. It's dope. It's
And
dope.
he's telling his story, which is needed because remember we was talking about nobody really knows him, and he talks
Exactly.
about being reclusive. But on this album, I consider this the first album where he's really getting personal, and you're learning how he feels and what he's going through.
And I understand that now because even when he talked about his relationship with his father putting him out and shit like that, and it was always been kind of like a up and down with him. With
He
him,
danced around it, but it was never
yeah.
just outright. Let's talk about it.
Right, right,
And
right.
like he talked about, like you said, he talked about the TDE relationship. He talked about what happened with Black Hippie, and then he said it
Mhm.
was his fault.
It's
And
his fault.
he acknowledges it, and he
Yep,
talks about how his ego and him wanting to be the best broke up the group.
yep.
We know what that looked like.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah. We
saying?
all know
We
what that.
we we know that at home from the
Yeah,
crib.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when people can recognize their own life and reflect on it and realize where they made the wrong
And
turn
be
and
unmistakably
vulnerable
honest.
and be
Yeah,
vulnerable.
yeah, yeah,
So that's why it's like, regardless, like the content, the subjects, he there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't necessarily vibe with all the way the production goes that direction.
And I would agree with that. I would agree with that. If the production was a little bit different or something different, I would have, I think I would have stuck with it a little bit more too. But it's the production. But conceptually, I mean, when it get to him and making albums and
There's
stuff
no
like that,
question.
even those battle songs is a conceptual way
Yeah, he
of
does
how
things.
he
He does what
yeah,
he
he
does.
does things like that skit when he just in the dark closet just writing.
Yeah,
That shit funny as fuck. But yeah, that's how I look at it. It's all conceptual and it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. So we'll just see what it is. Like, we'll just
well,
see how it go.
we know where it's going. I don't want, and I know I'm just, again, it's just me talking. I don't want, and we're gonna save the rest of this conversation for the closeout. We'll tell y'all about that in a
Hmm.
bit. But
Hmm.
I don't want him to pull up and just sweep the awards. I don't want this to be the talk of everything now. Like it's not that.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, okay, the music is good, the music is decent, but it's not the big talk. It's not the talk.
It should not. Well, I
Yeah,
can't say
I,
that because
I
this
don't
is
think
subjective.
I'm not gonna say it don't deserve. I don't want to say anything deserve because people can say the same thing about us. But it's okay. It's okay. And but like you said, if it sweep all the awards, like some
Nah,
like where you
I'm
have
not.
Common and Pete Rock, it's like, come on, dude.
You
Like,
you
come on.
got you have some very conceptual, innovative shit that came out this year.
But I don't think it's fair if you just come in on the 12th, on the fourth quarter on some. He like
In
Kobe
the
on the
25th
pull up.
hour, right?
Yeah, he Kobe on the
He
pull
was
up. Fourth quarter
sick for three quarters, and
championship.
then come out. I thought you had
For
the
the
flu. I
playoffs,
feel
this
better.
nigga just he off the pitch and sweep the
You
whole
said you had a
game.
sprained
God
ankle. It
damn,
got better.
nah, I got a shot. I'm good now. What's
Nigga took a
up?
sensu bean. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck, dude? Where are you coming from? So
Yeah,
yeah, I
we
mean,
had
I know
some
that's
gummy
gonna
bear
happen.
juice and just came out the
Yeah, just
gate.
bunk, bunk, bunk. Like, and I know it's gonna happen because it's Kendrick, and you know what I'm saying. That's what Kendrick
But
do.
that's not. I mean, there's still a lot of good work out there. You know what I mean? So don't just step on
Just
everyone's
dismiss
toes. Yeah,
everything.
you can't just do that.
And
And
I'm
I don't
and you,
know. It's not a well-deserved slap, in my opinion.
yeah, it's
Some
not. It's
people
not. It's
like
not even like.
Common Pete Rock deserve that spot. You know what I mean? If they deserve a win too. So don't just sweep everything out the box because hey, Common Pete Rock album better, man. Fuck that shit. I
Dude,
listen to Common
dude,
Pete.
and see, this is where I have to really check my bias, right? Let me check my bias for a second, and I'm gonna need
I'm
y'all out there.
biased.
No, not I'm check. I'm saying I'm check. I don't know. I'm saying I'm gonna check my bias because what I'm gonna say is this: I don't know if so. Like for me, like when and let's see Buckshot Boot Camp clip for an example. I do not like.
Shout out to him. He did celebrate his birthday
He
live.
celebrated his
He
birthday and
came out.
everything, and there's something to talk about with that too. Um, but I'm using them as an example because I love their music, right?
Right.
I don't want them to come out sounding like they did in the 90s, which Common and P Rock found a way to surpass the sound while maintaining the integrity of the sound. I'm not as big a fan of West Coast sound. I'm not as proficient in listening and attuning my ears to that element. So I need somebody who loves that to tell me, is this pandering to the sound without being authentic, or does this sound like true authentic, like this is just what I do and it's my West Coast sound? I want to know because I'm not so sure. I don't.
I don't stand on that ground either. That's why I said it's okay.
And that's why I'm saying I'm concerned. I want to make sure I'm checking my bias because I don't like when anybody comes with a wash sound. If you pulling out some dated beats, but you spit hot over it, it's still dated beats. Respectfully, Rakim's last album.
Okay.
I did not like that production. It was hella dated.
Yeah.
And yeah, at a certain point in time, people loved those type of beats. I didn't, and I don't love them now.
Okay.
So that's where
I
I
rock with you.
that's where I am with
Woo! You
this.
Cyclonus.
That's where I am with this album. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
I don't love the beats. I love
I
some
don't
of
love
them,
the beats. Yeah. I
but I
don't
don't
love the
even know
beats.
if it's good beats.
But I don't know. That's my whole thing. Cause not like us. I don't really like those.
I
That
didn't. No,
beat,
I didn't like that beat at all.
but it worked
I don't know that it. So here's what's going on, and this is what I think is going on. Check this out. Kendrick is going to sweep not because these projects that he's putting out people love. It's 50% hype.
Okay,
50% hype.
yes.
Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is where the hype comes in. It's not hype from the people who are true fans of Kendrick. Like I'm a fan of Kendrick. I
Right.
just don't like everything he does. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes he
Yeah.
over the top and he's
Yeah.
over dramatic. And that's
Yeah.
sometimes I'd be like, dude, just give me the song.
Just
Just say
rap.
what
Yeah,
right. Rap.
just
Like just be
rap, dude.
Andre
I
and
don't
just
need
spit some
all
ill
that.
shit. Right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but I guarantee you what I'm witnessing is that the Drake beef gave him new fans. people who
Yes, it
just
did. Yes, it
discovered
did.
him.
And that's why I
So
was saying this Kung Fu Kenny shit. And then he went and took to LA and the
because the
whole
new
image of
fans,
building the image of LA and doing this for the West Coast or whatever. Yeah, that brought out a new light and a new energy, like you said.
and so
And
all these new
he
fans are
tapped
going to push
into it.
him.
He
He
tapped
did.
into it.
So, but you know what? Let me backtrack for a second. I just realized something.
What?
I like fucking West Coast music.
I know I do.
This is not the West Coast music I like.
Now I know where you're going. Rest in peace, Saphir.
Thank you.
Rest in
That
peace, Saphir. Matter of fact, let's
I
get a
feels
moment of silence real quick. Bet, bet. Now let me tell you something. So we gonna jump on West Coast. This motherfucker, right? All right, Pugs. Shout out to Pugs too, man. 100 slaps. God damn, Pugsley
Pugs pulled
Adams.
up. Pugs
Pugsley
pulled up
Adams.
and
Man
came
of
with
the people. Whoa.
on a
Oh,
snow day.
my
Oh, it was
nigga, man.
snowing
On a
today, so I
snow
said, let me
day,
do
this dude
100
delivered.
slaps.
Yeah, he hit us with a slap, man.
And
Thank you.
it was a banging one
Thank you.
too. It was
Thank
ill.
you. Thank you, bro. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it in person and on the pod in the future. But yeah,
Yes.
back in the day, Pugs. You know, me and him, we talked about rap a lot, just about MCing and stuff.
Not the
And
label.
not the label, but rap a lot. Nah, we talked about MCing and rhyming and structures and stuff like that. So one day he was putting me on Saphir, and he was like, dude, Saphir, my favorite MC. I was Red Man. He was Saphir. I'm
Legit.
like, Saphir? You
Schizophrenic tenant
sure?
number one when
Yeah,
it
are
comes
you
to
sure?
housing, arousing the and like with introspect.
So he made me sit down and listen to Boxcar Sessions.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most complex MCs I heard in my motherfucking life. He
That's
rhymes
some ultramagnetic MC shit.
ultramagnetic,
Said G shit.
offbeat, on-beat delivery. So the rhymes will usually hit on the 1 and 3. That's what I always say is on
Yeah.
the 1 and 3. Everyone hit on the 2 and 4. If you know music, you
And
know
then
the
he
bar
switches
count.
in real time.
And he switches and hits and shifts in real time. So you
He's a
get
fucking
this.
transformer.
He's 6-shot.
Yeah.
He's 6-shot where you just can't. You transform to 6 things. You gotta
Like
get
what the fuck? Like wait a minute.
I'm going to keep the gear shifted. So you 6-shot with it, and his range is just crazy. And that's what kind of like helped molded MCing for me because it gave me the structure of what you could do in a bar count. A little bit different than what Pharaoh could do when he elongates and stretches the bar. He hits on different pockets and notes with a voice that pierces through the beats no matter what he do. And whenever he drop on the 1 and 3, it could shift to the 2 and 4. So now you listen to the music differently because you're not listening for the drums to hit now. You listen to what his word pattern is going to hit. And that's very
lyrical
manipulative.
jazz.
That's
Lyrical
what
jazz.
you call yourself, the ghetto alchemist.
Mhm.
That's the full ghetto alchemy shit that I'm talking about. And yeah, he was cold. Listen to Exhibit Plastic Surgery with him, Raz Cass, and Exhibit. 3 dope West Coast motherfucking
All
MCs.
West Coast, that's a fact.
Golden State. What is they? Golden State.
The Golden State, they were Golden State Warriors, and
Yeah.
they became Golden State Collective, I believe.
Yeah. Man, check out him, Amir. What's Ahmad and
Ahmad. Yep.
yeah, come with it. It's a lot of songs where this dude Casual. He was on Casual first album.
That's that bars I was spitting. That's them
Yeah,
bars.
yeah, he was on that. He battled Hyro.
He
by
battled
himself.
he battled Hyro. But and
Battled him by himself.
he was and that was a classic moment on Sway and Tech show.
Mm-hmm.
And what the thing that
Shout
you
out to
realize
Sway. He a
about him,
legendary like pioneer too, man.
oh, he curated
he
he
original.
curated the culture.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we sons of him,
Right. Yep.
respectfully.
Yep. Yeah.
But no, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's West Coast, and I mean, I can go into the whole DJ Quick MCA Compton's Most Wanted.
Dude, we used to bump that shit like it was our shit. You know what I mean? Like the Spice One shit.
Yeah,
Used to
Spice
bump
One was
that shit.
ill.
Yeah, Spice One, fucking
Fucking
Compton Most Wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we can go. Man,
Man,
listen.
what Into Deep? What now? It was a lot of motherfuckers. It was a duo in West Coast. There
I
was a
mean,
West
Cypress
Coast
Hill is
duo.
West Coast.
Cypress Hill, yeah, Cypress
Cypress Hill
Hill.
is West Coast.
Cypress Hill, Far Side. We
Far
was
Side is
crazy on
West
all
Coast.
Far Side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's not a West Coast. It's not a question of West Coast, but what is considered that traditional signature West Coast sound. That's why at the
Dre and
backtrack,
Snoop got a new album coming out, and they
we will see. Yeah, because I'm expecting that to be.
the whole album. You think Dre
I
and
expect that,
Snoop going back and back? Like,
dude. This is about to be in
they
like
got to
deep
flip it a
cover.
little bit
This
more
is
than
about to be deep
that's what
cover.
dude, man.
This is about to be deep.
Dude.
That little snippet, the snippet that they
Yeah,
played was deep
yeah.
cover level bars.
Oh my goodness.
Snoop about to
dude.
bring that shit.
Oh my goodness.
And Snoop has to. Snoop
He
has to.
And they have to do something different because I was going to jump back to the Common P Rock. They did the producer MC type thing, and then Pete come with a few bars. But Dre, he
No,
could
Dre
rap
about to
too.
rap.
Yeah, you want to rap too? Okay.
Dre about to rap. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, so there's a lot to get into a conversation about West Coast. And even today, I mean, we've said it multiple times on here. If I'm gonna talk about who right now in 2024, like Schoolboy Q is my favorite. Like that mug, like the bars, the beats, the subject, the energy, everything about Schoolboy.
I didn't even think he was going to develop into what he is now. Honestly, I thought I was looking at him a little bit, not one dimensional, but I just thought he was going to go in this.
He's gonna pull what he did, and then
he grew into. And Ab Soul is kind of dope too, man.
It's a lot of. I mean, it's even in that crew, they got it.
Man, I was watching The Alchemist. He did a performance at one of those festivals out in LA. It was some I don't know the name of it. I forgot.
Oh, Flognar?
Yeah, there you go.
That's what you call this fest. Tyler the Creator's Fest.
Oh, so that's Tyler's shit. Yeah, because I watched his set too. So shout out to him. Yeah, he brought out Earl Sweatshirt. Earl Sweatshirt, West Coast, he cold, Tyler cold,
Yeah, these are all West Coast cats. That's what I'm saying. It's like this whole King of the West Coast shit is corny to me.
Nah, I ain't with that. Cause cause they got too many shoes.
I don't like the king of anything. I think that's all marketing and it's corny.
Yeah. Unless you're the king of slaps.
But the rest of it's too subjective. And you get into these points where for the sake of everybody fitting in, everybody's going to be afraid to say they don't think it's this album isn't their favorite. I'm not afraid to say that.
Because I ain't afraid to say nothing. And that's the hype build. That's the hype machine, right?
Yeah, the hype train.
Some I did see people get into it online because some dude, so some girl said, "Oh, this album is so great, it's so great," and dude said, "This shit mid as hell."
It is.
And
respectfully,
she got so emotional about it. It was like, no, calm down. It's okay to say it's mid. It's okay.
You shouldn't invest your ego into other people's shit.
Yeah, it's not for that, man. It's not for that because he got a catalog now. You could listen to other stuff, and like we just went a whole list of West Coast rap real quick.
And we didn't even touch the surface.
Yeah, we didn't touch everything. Evidence and all them niggas. So it's a lot. It's a big coast and it's a different sound. And you gotta accept it is what it is. It's like, but Redman said, "Hey, New York sound like Atlanta." So it's a whole different.
Every city has its signature sound. There's a signature sound. Like we know Chicago, the bars and the double entendres and structure, and we're gonna technically destroy you.
Yeah.
Before you even realize what we said, we technically destroyed.
We're smarter than what you think. That's how I look at it. Like,
you're gonna be hearing these complex bars, and then you're gonna go back and realize the entendres. Then you're gonna go back and realize, oh, that was me you was talking about.
Yeah. It's like 2A is 4 years later, man.
Yeah, like move on.
Yeah, we going something else. So everything is different, and I just appreciate music in general. But everything don't deserve the hype train, and I think. It is what it is, man. We'll just see what it is. Music is music.
He's this era star, and therefore, when you're in that position that he's in, like a Lil Wayne, you can't do no wrong for your fans or for the people who are looking at you. And again, Kendrick has passed into that space, like I said, where the people that listen to him are just regular listeners. These are not hip hop fans. These are not people that participate in the culture. These are people who every day get up, go to Starbucks, drink a coffee, go to work, come home, watch TV, and then go to sleep watching TikTok. These are the people that are now latched on to him.
Right.
So these people, yeah, this is the best thing ever because they never heard all that shit we just talked about. They gonna say he's the king of the West Coast because they don't know what West Coast really. They don't know the West
Ice
Coast.
Cube dropping a new album too. It's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is the era where there was a lull. People was kind of frustrated. The industry kind of was blocking gatekeeping, but the gatekeeping is over because now that everybody has found a way and everybody has realized how to work this independent shit in this new era.
So that's interesting. So the biggest rappers, y'all say, the biggest artist in the world is on Super Bowl is considered independent.
Nope.
So that's why
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about like
But that's why. But I mean, that was the perception a little bit. And I was like, well, I don't know.
What for him? He's not a. So anybody that went through Dre is not a fucking independent artist.
Okay.
Period. You already went through the machine. I don't care if you go independent after. If Drake go independent, he's still fucking Drake.
Exactly.
Which everybody thought was gonna happen, but he did it first. Kendrick did it first for real. But you went through the machine, and the machine is what built you up. So the machine, you're a product of the machine. You're a product of the industry.
Got you.
But like we're talking about, like think about let's use an example, like a Redman. Redman has not been a part of the machine for a long time. He's building himself back up on his own independently. Cube ain't been a part of the machine in a long time. He's building himself back up.
Yeah.
LL ain't been a part of the machine for a long time. He had to build back into the space and prove that he was there.
Yeah.
And these artists, there was somebody that was talking about, I forgot which artist it was. Let's say it was like a 90s, 2000s type artist. And they said the digital era, they didn't know how to navigate it. So they could not properly market and produce their projects.
Which is understandable.
So I think that the learning curve for those artists who were in the industry during the age of vinyl and CD, they didn't know what to do because they knew they had been, let's say, you've been doing it for 5-10 years and that way.
You've been selling hella albums and man, just
you doing tours and shit off of that, and it's like then that's gone.
The album sales disappear now.
So now how do you make your money? Ain't no CDs, ain't no cassettes. You was from all that. So these artists finally figured out. Now they're all coming back. See, all of them coming back at the same time. It's not coincidence.
It's a rush. It's a cold rush.
They figured it out. It's
a rush.
And like, shout out to Jay with Roc Nation making that new deal.
Oh yeah, we never touched on that.
Yeah. And you got to really pay attention to how Jay operate. Jay
quiet flexing.
No, he experiments and makes mistakes publicly.
Okay. All right.
See, and people don't understand a true businessman or a true entrepreneur. True businessmen and entrepreneurs make mistakes. They make very public mistakes. They fail. Their businesses don't succeed. He did Tidal. That was his experiment. Before he did Tidal, he did the I think that Magna Carta Holy Grail with a deal through Samsung. That was his first experimentation into the digital era, trying to figure out how to monetize it. So then from that he learned and he did Tidal. And in Tidal, he was trying to give the artist control. Now he's created a new situation for digital distribution where the deals and the artist distribution, where they maintain 100% rights and ownership to their deal. And they make I think it was 70-30. So the artists get 70% of all streaming. Yeah. So
I thought it was 84% or some shit.
Whatever it was a high number. It was a ridiculously high number.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that any artist under this deal still owns the rights to their music.
Exactly. So
that's
there's
insane.
No compromise. There's no selling out. And at this point, that deal makes sense because, all right, a lot of that shit go to marketing, a lot of that shit go to pressing up. Like I said, all right, 1 million albums shipped. You guarantee gold ship. All that shit take processing, manufacturing costs, shipping, all that shit matters. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right.
Now we don't do that. It's just putting it on the platforms, which is like WFNG Fly Nerd Radio was on all streaming platforms. We're
Right
everywhere.
now.
So it doesn't matter where the fuck you go to listen to your music or stream it any way you want.
Or
You
your
can listen to
podcast.
us. Yeah, or
Yep.
your podcast. You can listen to us
You can listen to
listen
this on Audible, on
on
Apple Music,
yeah.
on Amazon.
Amazon, dude. Like I didn't even know that. So I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Starscream be working.
Yeah, Starscream be working, man. So yeah, we everywhere. So that cuts a lot of costs. That cuts a lot of legwork. That cuts a lot of you ain't got to go to these cities and do promotions no more. You can just turn on your device,
Yep.
record something, and put it out there. Or we could do an ad or something. We pay
hmm
for your ad.
hmm
It changed.
It's a new world.
It's a new world, and we have to, as people, humans do, we assimilate. We're the real transformers because we will search when the time is needed, and we'll figure it out and we'll keep
Right,
it.
right. Yeah. Correlating, and as you mentioned, when you talked about we being transformers, the metaphor of being transformers is very clear. And we all have to go, like, shout out to those people who reach that point where they no longer have to transform into a vehicle to assimilate into society. When
Mm-hmm.
you reach that level, which,
Mm-hmm.
respectfully, that's where Kendrick is at,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's great.
And
But
that's what you
like,
should do. Don't tie yourself up into
mm,
any of these deals and all
nah,
this
none
stuff.
of them deals that put you under the heel of someone else's authority to where they can come in and tell you, no, 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 you can't say that. No, no, no,
Nah,
you
you
can't
can't do
do
that. You
that.
can't drop it at this time. You
Nah,
gotta
this,
do
yeah, nah, we want this, or
this
we
way.
want this guest feature. We don't, that's a little too
Yeah.
hard. We want a love song.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
wanted
Don't.
this, we wanted that. We want you to do a song with Alicia Keys.
The point of being an artist is to express yourself freely. And
hmm
you get in some of these deals and it ruins some of these artists now today. There's some cats that's bitter and just move in certain ways and be like, well, why are you doing this? Because you was burnt, by these culture vultures and these constrictive ass, labels and
hmm
corporate people that have nothing to do with creativity or
No, they're
music.
just trying to capitalize off of the dollar that you gonna make,
Exactly.
which is the secret sauce.
That you're putting
Because
your work into. Like
if
you're doing the work.
if they want you, if they want you, then that means they've already figured that you're gonna make them boatloads of money. And if
Right.
they figured that out, then that means it's time for you to figure that out. You just got to figure out how can you make that boatload of money,
Right.
because they're gonna figure it out and make it over on your behalf in lieu of you. So you have to learn to
I mean, shout
capitalize
out
off of
to
your shit.
Tyler. He created a whole concert event just to promote his album.
Yeah, well,
He don't do that every year.
yeah, he do.
He do?
So yeah, so Wolfgang
Got you.
became Golf Wang, became Floggnar because he keep reversing and reversing, reversing. It's weird. The dude is, the way his mind works is really tricky. But if I
Mm.
remember correctly, he does this little event regularly.
Mm.
But this particular year, of course, it was related to that. It was all around that album.
Yeah. That crowd go hard. They knew every song. There's like a dedicated fan base for that shit because they was singing the intro, the interludes. I was like, God damn, this crowd
Yeah.
intense.
And see, and that's another example because we was talking about his album too, and I thought that,
Mm.
like, for me, I like 50% of every album that he drops.
Okay, yeah, I rock with that. I don't
And
like the whole because he's very conceptual. All his albums are like story albums in the
yeah,
perspective. It's like a play, and each album is like a different take or different version of a play. It's a continuation.
right.
Because like you said, the Wolfgang shit, Golf Wang, my bad.
No, it's Wolfgang first, then it became Golf Wang.
Yeah, so
It was Odd Future Wolfgang, all that shit.
all that's a story. Like all
It's a
that ties
progression.
into a story. Yeah,
It was he was transforming.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And now it's this, the chromacopia or whatever that shit is.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just different. So different artistry. West Coast always provided a different perspective in
it's
hip hop.
diversity.
And I always appreciate the West Coast from day one. So I don't have no regards in West Coast sound or anything because I kind of grew up in it. you know, and love it and influenced, I think, us, because I even go back to Souls of Mischief. First time you seen That's When You Lost, and they wearing the V-neck sweaters and all this shit.
Yeah, which
And
was and
yeah, you know, our
that's
fashion kind of like
nah. So let me put you onto this
okay,
and
let's
check
go.
this out.
Uh-oh, don't tell me. All
Shout
right.
out to them there.
There you go. I
Them
knew it.
shout
I
out to them
knew it.
there.
I
So
knew it.
I was a little youngster that was being pulled into them parties. I was telling you that before.
Mhm.
So I'm going to these joints. Anything that you see. So you look at some of them New York niggas,
Yeah.
they them there was doing it first. You look at them West Coast hip hops artists, them there was doing it first.
I
Them
believe.
there, Reg and them
I believe you.
had this whole thing at one point. They did the whole tennis thing, which is the V-neck
Ah,
sweaters and everything.
V-neck sweaters
They
and the
was doing all
polos,
that. Yeah, they was doing all that.
khakis.
All of that. That was them there. So the influence is real, man. Like
That's a trademark traditional clip.
Chicago,
Mhm.
the Chicagods, as
Shy Guys.
shout out to Tony, Twilight. Twilight got a new label,
Yes, he does.
you
Yes,
know,
he
all
does.
of the above,
All of the
you
above.
know.
Shout out to him.
So
Shout out
that's
to Big
ill.
Spencer. They just did a joint for that label right
Yeah.
now.
Vic Mensa.
Yeah, my bad, Vic.
Yeah, Vic
Ooh,
Mensa.
Vic Minister. My bad. I'm sorry.
Nah, but yeah, I mean,
I've been
so
smoking.
like when you think about like man, like any of this. Remember Ziggy?
Yeah.
Remember Ziggy? That was like they was like I used to when I first saw Ziggy, I was like, oh, them baby them dares. Them
Mm-hmm.
darians. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the legends, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a part of hip hop, Chicago hip hop history and hip hop culture in general, because of the
Mm-hmm.
influence that was so big that influenced the Sprite commercials with Reggie,
Yeah, there you
you
go.
know, with Reggie No.
There
And,
you
you know, shout out this Darian, you know, he's still at the crib.
mm-hmm. Yep.
But
Shout out.
like there's a lot of history in that. We need to start pulling them into the conversation.
We will.
Yeah,
We
we need to
will.
pull them into
We got
conversation.
another season.
Yeah, yeah, next year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, like the West Coast was had influences from here. The East Coast had influences from the crib. Man, that influence is
With the
far and
centerpiece.
wide. Yeah,
With the centerpiece.
they came and they came and studied our steez, and then you know what I'm saying, would take it back and then and put it onto their artists, you know, graft it on. It's all
To
good.
this day, they still do it.
To this day. But yeah, and for those of you who don't know, this week, you know, Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
you know, for those Turkey Day.
Turkey
Um,
Day.
on the surface, you know what
Family
I'm saying?
Day. Maybe
Family
family day.
Day. Enjoy your family, enjoy your food, enjoy your friends, enjoy everything that comes with that. But also, for Thanksgiving, we have to have perspective.
Got you.
And that perspective is that, to be honest with you, Thanksgiving, as most of us look at it in terms of the mainstream concept, is very much a Western American mythology.
Got you. Yeah.
The There's another perspective, which is the indigenous Americans perspective. You know, parts of my family are indigenous
And they're
Americans.
gonna wipe this out in schools, y'all. So pay attention.
So you gotta be on this. So check this out. One of the things of the early Thanksgiving, this is you know, Plymouth Rock, you know, this we talking about the pilgrims. And the pilgrims pull up, and the pilgrims were religious zealots
Okay.
that were pushed out of Europe. Guess why? They didn't want to pay no fucking taxes. They didn't want to pay no fucking taxes. So these mofos come over here. So by
Mhm.
definition, they were criminals and etc. because they refused to pay taxes. So they were exiled, put out. You know what I'm saying? So they come over here, and they come over here with their zeal. And what is known as the first Thanksgiving had nothing to do with indigenous Americans. What these pilgrims did as religious zealots were they would actually do their Thanksgiving originally was a fasting, and they
Mhm.
would fast to give thanks as a part of their Thanksgiving. So there was no food involved in the original Thanksgiving. The indigenous Americans already had their harvest events and their celebrations during that time of the year, surrounding the moon and etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's a separate thing. That wasn't a Thanksgiving either. The two different people, so these pilgrims come to America. There was people that were already here for thousands of years.
Right.
The Pilgrims were starving. The Pilgrims were hungry. The Pilgrims were surviving, trying to survive their first winter.
Mm-hmm.
And the indigenous Americans who there were certain tribes that made tried to make deals and tried to um, treaty with these people. Some of these savages, because I'm calling them what they were, these people were insane. They were so hungry they would actually eat indigenous Americans, hunt and eat indigenous people. On the other side of this, some of the indigenous Americans with some of these different settlements were trying to politic, and they did have like a cordial invitation and tried to. The Pilgrims had their dinner.
Mm-hmm.
The indigenous Americans came as to solidify the treaty and agreement between them of truce, but they weren't invited. They pulled up because they heard the Pilgrims popping off in their celebration, shooting into the air. They thought they was fighting, so they pulled up at first and was watching like, the fuck going on here?
Yeah, what's happening?
But then they realized, oh, they just celebrating. So then they walked up, and then they was welcomed in, and then they chilled together.
Okay.
From this event, a decimation of the indigenous Americans took place from the plagues and the diseases that they contracted from being amongst these European settlers.
Mm-hmm. Black plague and all that shit.
It wiped out large populations of indigenous Americans, which made it easier for the settlers to conquer.
They come on and take
conquer
the
these
land.
tribes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
dirty.
There's a lot of history with this. So from perspective's point of view, I'm just saying, while you celebrate, keep in mind that history is a lie agreed upon, and that there's another perspective that took place from the other people who were already here.
Mm-hmm.
And they do not necessarily appreciate the quote unquote celebration of the lie, because that day for them represents the day that they lost.
It was a massacre.
Yeah, it was a massacre.
It was a genocide.
And we're talking about not just from the diseases, but the genocide from violence, like the scalping. Fun fact, the scalping was not the indigenous Americans. The scalping was done by the settlers.
Yeah.
But they reversed it in the history books because
to make it look like the Indians were
savages. The savages, the Indians, the indigenous Americans were not eating people.
Right.
They were not scalping people.
Right.
That was the settlers.
Yep.
They were hungry. They were starving in the winters, and they did what they had to do.
Yep.
They didn't know how to hunt there. They didn't know how to. They didn't know how to survive there. They weren't from that.
And they was probably scared of those goddamn boars and oxes and all that shit. Because I don't know if the shit had to be out there.
Yeah, it was out there, but I mean, we're talking about in the wintertime. Animals migrate.
Animals sleep. Yeah, they sleep.
They sleep and migrate. So they either hibernating or they're migrating. So the scarcity of food, the scarcity of vegetation to find. So there's no fruits and berries. They did what they was eating each other too. They was eating each other too.
That shit crazy.
And this is history that's documented in like
savage lands, yo. That's
real.
That's where that shit from, man. The savages. And we into it to this day. It's sophisticated savages, boy.
Sophisticated savages. They will eat you alive.
Yeah. Yep.
They will eat you alive.
Yep.
Yeah. So but don't. And I'm not saying this to say don't participate.
This ain't a damper on your celebration of.
But you got to know the history.
Time out and being with your family. I'm more of just being with your family and just enjoy the time. It is what it is. We all know what it is. You adult. All these holidays ain't shit. Nah. I'll be the first one to say it. I don't celebrate shit. Your birthday is the only thing I appreciate because that's the day you was digitally clocked in. Click. All right, that's the day you was here. Let's celebrate that time.
That was the day your energy first transformed.
Yeah, there you go. You first transfer. Teletran 1 grants you on this day. All right. That's cool. But all this Hallmark holiday shit, all this twisted stories and all this shit is nothing but myth. Like
it's just marketing and mythology to promote an idea, which goes back to on my IG when I posted Vice conversation with the white supremacists,
Mm, mm,
and his conversation about the need for white people to separate themselves from everybody else in order,
mm-hmm,
because that's the belief, they believe that that's the only way that they can sustain their whiteness.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And again,
And
we talking about
scientifically, it's
racists.
actually kind of true, but
It is true scientifically, but the
yeah,
other part of the science is that who the fuck cares?
they do, and that's
That's
the
my point.
problem.
Like they
Yeah,
care to the
they
detriment of
care.
me, which is why now I
Yeah,
have to talk about it.
yeah, that's the problem. That's the
But
problem right
I
there.
don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't give a shit. Y'all do
Dude,
whatever the fuck you want to do.
just
Just
leave
keep
me to
that
do me.
savage shit. Yeah, keep that savage shit to yourself. Don't
Keep
bring
the
that over here.
diseases and the other shit over
Yeah,
there.
I don't
And
want
I'm
that
talking
shit.
about the mental diseases now, because that's the disease that they keep spreading.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
it's the mental disease of ignorance
Mm-hmm.
and self-doubt.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Mm-hmm.
don't value yourself in society, you are prone to think that you belong in the ghetto.
And then when you accepting broken mentality like that, and
Hmm.
then you settle into shit like that, you break your course, you won't know how to adjust when the other stuff happen, which I've seen personally. I've seen it on the other scales of people, coming from the hood, transition to the other side. They can't take it. They go back to other doing hood shit, get you in trouble, you
Word.
know, or just the acceptance of being scared of success, being
Hmm.
scared of making a certain amount of money, being scared because you're just so used to just being in survival mode so much, you don't even understand it could fathom the cruise control. You know what
Right.
I mean?
It's fight or flight.
Yeah.
This trauma puts you in a perpetual state of survival. And with survival, you have to justify your actions, because let's be honest, poverty should depress you. That being lacking
Absolutely.
food, clothing, or shelter should
Yeah.
depress you. It should
Yeah.
make you feel terrible. Why
And
would
that's
you?
the state to make you feel so small. Yeah.
And then so now you're in this state. So
You
you have to
can't feel like
convince.
you achieve anything or get up out your hole or you
But let's
know.
talk about the transforming ability of the human mind. The human mind transforms and justifies the poverty and convinces you that it's okay.
Yep. Yep.
And then to convince you that poverty is okay, guess what has to be the problem? Wealth.
Yeah.
So then we look at wealthy people and then we'll say Jay-Z's in the Illuminati. Because
Or the
damn him
money
for
is
being
the root of
wealthy.
all evil and all this shit.
Yeah.
So you thinking anybody that
Anybody with money
the
is.
money is bad or they did some
Mhm.
immoral, injustifiable things to
To
get them.
get there, which is not always the case. And we have to be aware of that psychosis, because that is a black community problem. That
Mm-hmm.
is a brown community problem. That is
Mm-hmm.
a poverty community problem.
Mm-hmm.
We are so disassociated from reality that we have learned to embrace the conditions that we live in, that are not the conditions we necessarily started, but we perpetuate today.
It's called conditioning.
It's conditioning. So we have been conditioned to accept where we are, and then through the societal social constructs, we have accepted the carceral spaces, which is why Common said, "I found it hard to imagine he hadn't been past downtown."
Downtown. That is
We
so
will
true.
we will lock ourselves away in the hood, food deserts,
Yep.
no resources, no job opportunities. And if you lock yourself in that community where there's no resources, there's no outlet, so what niggas gonna do? They gonna sell drugs, they
Mm-hmm.
gonna rob, they gonna steal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They gonna cause trouble amongst the righteous people because there's
Some
nothing else
people is
to
just
do.
so used to being on it. Let's take the people that's on like Section 8 and welfare, SNAP and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
Some people think that's a lifetime grant.
Generational,
Yeah,
generational.
generational. It's like some you pass down to the kids and shit, and that's not it.
Yeah,
Not
it's a privilege that
it.
they now expect.
Yeah, and it's
They
a certain
expect, and they don't
air
even want to
that,
pursue
yeah.
or achieve higher. Again, you
It's
have.
some people that will get a job and figure out they make so much money that they'll be, canceled out from that situation. They will quit their job just to be on Section 8 or on wealth on SNAP and all that shit because they don't want to lose that.
And just to clarify, this is a small percentage of that population, so this is not a generalization, but it is a conversation that needs to be had, because the system, even that system, no system should be designed to perpetually keep you in that state. it's that classic statement of, do I feed you the fish or do I teach you how to fish?
How to fish.
And
Yeah.
that system does not require you to learn how to fish. It just keeps
Mhm.
feeding you the fish, which
Yeah.
makes you dependent.
Yep.
So when you got to think about the term dependent, if you're dependent, that means you're under someone else's responsibility. You are
Exactly.
not an adult.
Yeah.
Dependents, minorities,
That's
all these
tax.
words,
Yeah.
these are the words they use, and those are the words that they use to keep us in that mindset. You're a minority. What is a
Mm-hmm.
minority? Am I actually a minority? Am I minor? Am I
Yeah.
am I not
Where
as
the
important in
minority, yeah,
society?
where am I minor at? It's like that's kind of that word.
It's
I hate that.
devaluing. It's
I hate
debilitating.
yeah, I hate that word. Because if you think of majority, so what's the majority then, nigga? If I'm minority, then what's the majority? And
It's the power structure, which
when
is
did this
why
shit? You know?
that's why they're afraid to become the minority, because in their mind, minority is a bad thing. You got to pay attention to the flow of thought.
Mhm.
I'm only concerned about being a minority because minority is a bad thing to the people who are considered the
You're
majority.
secondary or
Exactly.
thirdary. Is that
And the
third?
majority, tertiary.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right,
Right,
Starscream.
writer's mind. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But the majority, the quote unquote majority, which are the people in power, don't want to become minorities because they know how they treat minorities. And their thought process is that if they become the minority, they will then be treated how they treated minorities. It's all fucked up in this game.
But it's off their own fuckery though. No one else thinking like
No,
that.
this is all in their head. When you arguing with your significant other, you arguing with your girlfriend or whatever,
Yeah.
and she's telling you, I feel like you don't think this and this and this. And you
He
like,
said,
this
you said you feel like I
I
don't
don't think.
think.
Da-da-da-da-da. Like, so the conversation is starting with a deficit for me because I have to dig my way out of, I don't
Out of
even
the
think that
field
shit.
and think, yeah, he's
I
throwing
wasn't
all
thinking
this
nothing
shit
like
at
that.
me. He's throwing all this shit at me now.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was not on my mind. I was
Now
thinking
shooting
about,
unnecessary darts here. It's
I'm
like,
thinking about the next episode of Dragon Ball Diamond right
yeah,
now.
nigga.
Like, fucking, you coming with the what I think, and I'm sitting there, and then when I say I don't think that, why you trying to argue? You always got to disagree.
So
I can't fucking.
I gotta agree with this thrown theoretical thought processing
That
that
isn't
she's
my
got.
own. It isn't my own. This is the world we live in, where we
Oh,
have we
shit.
have we have a group of people that are in a position of power who are thinking that we're thinking what they're thinking.
And that was the problem with the Democrats.
That's the problem.
That was
They
the problem.
thinking they think that
They
we
thinking
think what they
for
think.
us, and it's
Yeah,
like, nah, you
that
don't
ain't
think
what we.
for
That ain't
us.
even on my mind. God damn it.
Yeah, they ain't right. That shit, y'all
That was far from
ain't
what I was thinking about.
no relation. Next. Oh,
Yeah,
that's what y'all talking about?
I'm like,
Oh,
nah, I can't even help you. I
yeah.
can't do nothing for you, man.
Man, I can't do nothing for you, man. Shout out to Public Enemy. Public
Yeah,
Enemy number
and
one.
Flav.
Flavor
But
Flav.
yeah, man. But this some funny. This is really funny style. If you really think about how, like, wait till yeah. I'm one of the things that I have a plan to do. I wasn't gonna say that. I was just gonna drop it one day.
What?
I'm gonna do a series about the Illuminati. I'm gonna start with that
Oh yeah, you gonna really just deep dive into like
because I'm sick. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these people who have got their information through the telephone game.
what if it's true?
Well, it's not about what if it's true. It's not a question of if it's true. Well, here's the question: what if what's true?
All right, yeah. What it
You know what I'm
is?
saying?
Yeah,
Because
what it is.
like it's the whole Jaguar White effect. That's what I call it. It's the
Well,
Jaguar
it's
White effect.
conspiracy theorists, man.
But they're
That's
going,
one of the
dude.
top conspiracy theories.
When conspiracy theorists go so far, and understand there's the true meaning of conspiracy theory, and then there's the colloquial term conspiracy theory. They're not the same thing. The words conspiracy and theory together have a connotation. It just means that I have a theory about the conspiracies of, let's say, the government to withhold information about UFOs, right? But
Which
then
they do.
there's the other conspiracy theory, which is the one that goes ape shit. And that's where you get into whether or not the alien is from Zeta Reticuli or from the Gallifrey galaxy
Yeah.
or from interdimensional places. All the shit that is impossible for you to know sitting at home on a fucking laptop.
Yeah, man. Come on now.
That's where I have to. I'm gonna start doing my deep dives to kind of clear some shit up, because what happens is one idiot, and I mean this scrutinizingly, like true to the game. These fucking idiots make up some shit for likes, or make up some shit to sound smart.
Mm-hmm.
Their paper thin conjecture,
Mm-hmm.
delusions, and all these other connections that make no fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I call them idiots is because they have no foundation in knowledge. They have no foundation in any form of science. It's completely how, like we
No
just said.
facts, standards, and
Yeah,
base.
I feel like you think this. I feel like you think what I'm thinking when you think. It's
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? So all of that leads to them doing a YouTube video or going on TikTok and saying something.
Right.
So then the next person who doesn't know any better hears this and it sounds good, because one of the things about magic and hypnotism is that things sound right, but they aren't right.
Hit the right frequencies.
And the science of that is that sound travels at 1,120 feet per second,
Mm-hmm.
but light travels at 186,000 miles per second. So
Mm-hmm.
light traveling faster than sound, what you see is going to reach you before what you hear.
Yeah.
So you should never accept just what you hear
Right.
without seeing for yourself
Seen
in
it
some
for
in some context.
ha 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 ha
If you
ha.
ignore what you see to address what you hear, hearsay, right?
Right.
That's what we're dealing with. There's no evidence in the beginning of the conversation. It starts with conjecture, and then the conjecture leads to a rational conclusion based on the fallacy of the conjecture being true.
Boop.
So that means you off from the beginning. But I take it and run with it. So now I'm telling people, man, this dude on YouTube, he was saying this shit, and that shit
And
sounded
they
so
taking
real.
that shit. Yeah, it's the
So now they
king.
telling people,
King
and
in the
then
rope.
these people now have to do research based on what? Because the way the internet works is you can find whatever you're looking for, whether it's true or not.
And that's the problem. And that's
That's
the
the
problem.
problem. Because
So
the internet is
where's your
based on what we
source?
put on the internet.
Where's your source?
So if I go on the internet right now and I create a fallacy story about how I met Trump, and when I met Trump, he offered me a record deal on the label that he was going to start. But because he decided to run for president, he never did the deal. He never did the record label, so the deal was lost. If I start that
It's
story on the
gonna be
internet,
amazing record. It's gonna be amazing. I tell you.
somebody's gonna see that story they're
And
gonna
roll
believe
with it.
They're gonna believe it, and then
You
a few
could be on
years later,
CNN with that story.
a few years later or less, somebody's gonna mention that shit to me. It's like, so yeah, I remember when you was trying to get the deal with Trump, and then he became president. I'm gonna be looking like, yeah, like what the fuck? That's how the internet works. If I post it on the internet, it's there. Anybody who reads it, if they search Amby Warhol signed to Trump, they're gonna see my story and everybody who believed that story, right, talking about it. That doesn't mean it's a fact.
Right.
It just means that a bunch of people wrote about it or talked about it on the internet.
That's true. Yeah.
That's the problem. You can't do research that way. Your foundation has to be some form of experiential connection to something. And if it's not possible to experience, then it has to be an experiment, which means it has to be put together in a form of logical, rational, step-by-step thought process, which means you still got to start with something.
Yeah.
Got to start with something.
Got to start with something, folks.
Man.
Or you're going to be lost in the sauce, man.
Knowledge is the foundation. It
Knowledge
always
is the
has
foundation. Been. Get your facts straight. Get your facts
straight.
You know,
media will be all the better. These people that are telling you that Iron Man is coming back also in Doom, and both of them gonna be in the movie together. Tony Stark gonna be in there too, and like Robert Downey Jr. playing both characters. You know, all that shit.
Holy shit, that's a lot. No wonder they're paying them all that money. God damn. That's a heavy load. You playing?
Listen, it's cool to let your imagination run wild.
Oh my goodness!
Put that into a constructive, creative project.
But they don't. Half of these people are not. That's what I'm saying. A lot of this been misconstrued. a lot of these people ain't creatives. You know, a lot of these people do just
Well, they're
create
creatives.
bullshit.
They just don't know they're creatives because it would be a better
Okay,
fictional story. You see what
okay,
I'm saying?
okay. I see what you're saying,
Instead of trying to convince me that these aliens are from Zeta Reticuli, write a fucking book.
their
Write a comic
motives
book.
are different though. They looking for those different. They looking for algorithm. Those algorithm seekers.
Yeah, and
You know.
there are people that will find those algorithms.
Yeah, and they're looking for that shit, and they're trying to tap into it the best way it can. I think it's very lazy. You're right. It is creative, but it's kind of lazy. You know, and that's where
It's lazy from a journalistic perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
creative in the natural sense of you made it up in your own fucking head.
Right, right. So,
You know, even liars are creative. Lies are creative.
but lies get you in trouble. Lies get your career shook. Lies get you, it gets you looked at differently. Lies get you persecuted. Lies get you killed.
But lies also can get you the presidency.
And that, yeah. So there's rewards in lies as well.
And that's why we got to check this shit. It's out of control.
So Jonathan Majors, just word is that case from his ex-girlfriend got dropped with prejudice and shit.
Extreme prejudice.
Extreme prejudice. It was prejudice from the start. But
yeah, everybody prejudged and came up with their stories.
Came up with their stories, their theories, how they felt about how he think.
Yeah.
It was a whole set, and I was during that time. Hey man, I was like, look, dude, there's not a solid enough evidence to prove these accusations.
Right.
You seen this tape of this dude running,
and that made her the victim.
And made her the victim, and he ended up getting this look and shit. And it's like, what the fuck, man? You pulling out all these videos and conversations that didn't tie into anything, and really, I mean, yeah, you built this whole false judgment of a person based off a
conjecture.
Little girl blue, Yeah. Yeah, I'm just be real with it. You dropped it. You didn't make no success. There wasn't no settlement out of the case.
Yeah, you wasn't getting what you thought you was gonna get.
You fucked up the bag. This doomsday that was supposed to be the Kang dynasty.
Maybe. I'm still not.
So you still think they was going to flip it anyway, regardless?
So again, let's go back a little bit. Remember this Captain America movie was called The Serpent Society at one point?
Yeah.
And then it was called New World Order. And now it's Brave New World. Same movie. But as the story evolved.
Or is it the same movie with reshoots and shit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. As the story evolved and as they perfected it, the name had to evolve with the direction of the film.
Gotcha.
So I think that Loki had, so here's what people always, the first falsehood that caught me. Everybody kept saying, oh, they did Loki season 2 the way they did because of what happened to him. But that was filmed long before.
That was filmed way before, yeah.
So there's no connection, which means the way Loki ended was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And you remove Kang from the equation, intentional.
And still open the door for
Kang.
For Kang.
Because
they
Kang
he's on the loose and they looking at their
at the multiverse.
Yeah, the multiverse. But we still didn't see the big bad Kang. And we said it before. We haven't seen the real Kang.
No, we ain't seen
we haven't seen Kang the Conqueror. I will put it to you like this.
Exactly.
Kang the Conqueror never showed up.
We haven't seen him.
So
we saw versions of early iterations.
Yeah, we saw inklings of Kang and his little background and where he come from and stuff like that, or his doings in
the development, character development.
Yeah, but we haven't seen Kang the Conqueror. So it's still open for Kang to show up.
And that's my theory.
And it don't have to be right now. You can introduce Doom because Doom and Kang has an interesting dynamic as well. So let it all play its course,
Yep. And that was my theory I mentioned before.
It was the initial shit. I didn't like the shit in the first place. And you gotta go through humiliation and shit like that. But that was uncalled for. You know what I mean? And I don't think that shit was I don't think it was justified, and I just stand on it at the beginning
Well,
because any one of us could get up and
justice for the black man in America.
yeah, that's
Where
it.
that at? Where they do that at though? It's his career was already stalled. Films that he was planning to produce and act in were already stalled. The bag was already stopped before the trial even determined his. I mean, let's be honest. The same thing happened with Johnny Depp.
Okay, that's true.
It did happen with
That's
Johnny
true.
Depp, but then Johnny Depp in the end won.
Yeah,
But the damage was already done.
it's still done. Yeah,
It was
yeah,
already done.
yeah.
So we have to be aware of the prejudgments
Right,
without fact,
right.
without any connection. Like you didn't experience anything with the two of them, so you can have no opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion can only extend be to the point of what you saw,
What you
which is what the
see.
media showed you.
Yeah,
And the media didn't show you anything without their own dialogue telling you what they want you to hear. Again, sound.
mm-hmm.
So the sound for you preceded what you saw. You listened to what they told you was happening while you was watching what was happening, and you concluded that
And
the
you
man
came
was
up with
running
that.
and he was the problem. Okay. Either way. And again, this is not a conversation of justifying any
Nah,
type
I ain't
of
justifying
violence or
no
abuse.
violence or yeah. I just wanted to throw that out there. We're not justifying anything like that
But
at all.
but as far as the legal system, he's no longer in the shits.
Yeah,
Now, if Marvel was putting him to the side to see what happens,
that's
that
fair.
That's
fair.
it opens it up, right?
That's fair.
It
And
opens it
now
up.
you got even more things to play with, mutants, you got Fantastic Four, you got Young Avengers. So, there's still room for a Kang to show up and make it a worldly event. You know what I mean?
Kang
And
is a reoccurring villain
yeah, he a reoccurring villain. He
and
show up
sometimes an
all the time.
anti-hero.
And yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about.
Same as
But
Doom.
yeah, so this guy, Jonathan Majors, may or may not be out of the running. I'm not so sure that he was ever as much
I'm
as
not
they were
going to
just
take it off
waiting.
the table.
No,
I'm not going
you
to take it
can't.
off the table.
You
And
can't.
I think it's just if that's the case, then it's very smart and brilliant to let this shit blow over because real recognize real, man. That's all I gotta say, man. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But
like
don't fuck up your bag, folks. Don't just try not to fuck up the bags,
or
and,
anybody's bag
or
over
anybody.
something that is not proven
Yeah.
off a hearsay.
Yeah.
Stop believing the rumor mill. Stop giving
Stop
credence.
believing yourself.
And
No,
when
because you see the footage, like you said, you see the footage and the narratives, and then you come and start with this.
with this alternative,
It's
well,
happening.
maybe
You got a whole movie in your head and shit. It's like, well, just cut that shit off
stop
and deal
thinking
with the facts.
that I'm thinking what you thinking.
Yeah.
That's it. Stop thinking I'm thinking what you think. Or even if you think it, don't say that shit to me. Just don't say it to me. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I'm not here. I'm not on trial, and I do not need to answer to your thoughts.
And we're not the judge and jury either. So just calm down.
Just chill.
Let it be. So just chill, man. That's how I feel about y'all motherfuckers talking about James Gunn. Just chill, motherfucker. Now he said what he said, motherfucker. Peacemaker is going to be canon, except the Justice League shit. Okay, it is what it is. All right. There's going to be rated R material. He's writing rated R scripts for some of these characters and movies. It is what it is. Okay,
Right.
just fall back and just enjoy the show. You ain't got no choice. It might be something good for you. So fall back, man. Just chill. Well, let the sources, because I don't talk about none of that shit unless I hear from the source.
Right.
Kevin Feige said yes.
Feige said it.
We're going to see mutants a little bit sooner than we expected. I'm for it.
That's it. That's
all I'm waiting. I don't need no headlines and this and who's going to be. No. Feige said we're going to see mutants a little bit sooner than expected. So
and we already have.
And we already have. We seen Beast and we seen the X motherfucking the laboratory already in the Marvel. So we already seeing this shit.
We saw Wolverine. And I mean, we saw Wolverine in the MCU.
Gambit, we saw Gambit.
Gambit
We
in the
saw
MCU.
Sabretooth, we saw
Sabretooth in the we saw
X-23.
Toad.
We saw Toad.
We saw mutants in the
mutants
MCU.
in MCU already. So, you know, these other movies down the line, you know, Cap might get an assistant from an X-Men somewhere. You know,
Or
Daredevil.
toss his shield.
Daredevil, right. What is this?
Get out of here.
Whack ass shield.
Oh my goodness.
Daredevil might run up on a motherfucker in the streets. We don't know what might happen. You know what I mean? Spider-Man, there's a whole mystery movie between the two Avengers movies.
Yes.
We don't know where that might be.
And
Fantastic Four might see a bunch of those motherfuckers in the negative zone. We don't know. They might come back with them. Galactus coming. We heard about this motherfucker already. Let's all team up. We might get an Avengers versus X-Men scene, and you don't even know it yet.
Well, we gonna get that. That's just automatic.
So I'm good.
Wolverine said, "All right, fuck the Avengers.
Fuck the Avengers, bro."
There's a clear line between them that don't need to be crossed.
Yeah. And when you hear from the horse's mouth, it's just all right. Now, just let me.
Yeah, just
back.
let the man cook.
We might see it in Thunderbolts. We never know what we might see. You know what I mean? A mutant might join the real Thunderbolt.
All right, so
I mean?
Yeah, they said one of the conversations was Omega Red is popping up somewhere. They've been saying that Omega Red
might be in Cap. That might be in Cap. Soviet.
It would make sense.
Yeah,
it would make sense.
He'll show up at the end of Cap. Omega Red pop up and choke that nigga. Or he could do the death factor and clear out a whole room. Yeah. I always want to see that scene.
Oh, that's
death factor kills the fucking room and shit, dude. Like, I want to see that so bad. So, nah, we all for it. I'm all for it. I'm all for James Gunn writing rated R DC movies. Some of them motherfuckers, it's dark enough, so why wouldn't it be rated R?
I mean, these are powerful motherfuckers. You're not gonna tell me that damage ain't gonna be done when these.
Yeah, come on, man.
These are seriously, like, you ever think about, like, if Superman clapped, like, just did a Hulk type clap?
Yeah, Hulk, fucking skin fly off.
Fucking eardrums exploding, heads popping off, like just.
Like it'll be like Homelander and shit, you know what I mean? He'll squeeze the head or some shit.
That's where we'll never get it. But again, when we talked about what I would like, how if I had access to the Batman universe, what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
If I had access to a Superman universe, I would spend a good portion of it in that Smallville period. Because that's the period where
in Prones, where you testing your strength.
He don't know his limits, and he's fucking up more than he doing good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I would want to be honest about that.
Yeah. Where he got to learn to pull his punches. You know?
Yeah, like, he's fucking people up and he's causing damage, and that creates the panic of people worried about Superman.
Exactly.
Not just that he's an alien and he can fly, but no, he's literally fucking up.
And he fucking
learning how to do it. Like the first time he used his laser vision, all he's trying to do is blow the tire out and he make the whole car explode. Killed the people. You know what I'm saying? They dead. Boom. Oh shit, my bad.
Smallville. That type of accidental prone shit is
no. It didn't happen it happened on Smallville to a degree, not that extreme. Right. But he made a lot of mistakes as much as he was, it just stayed. It was a TV show, so it was very casual.
Yeah, gotcha.
But I would do it like legitimately. This dude, he goes to grab a villain and he takes his arm off.
Yeah, that's that type of shit, right? Right. Like he up in the air with a motherfucker. He slip out the coat by accident.
Yeah, like or he go to catch him and he does catch him, but the impact of him stopping him, he fucking give him a concussion, fuck up his whole brain. It's like I want to see that part because it's cool to see Superman at his best, but to me, Superman at his best is really not so valued because we never really saw him at his worst. I want to see him at his worst because that'll help. Like, how we saw the evolution of all the other characters in the Marvel universe.
But that's why I hope the dynamic of Lex comes in, because he will bring that perfect dynamic and flip it on his head a little bit and see the faults in it.
See the flaws, see
Yeah,
the cracks in his armor.
He did this, like in the Batman versus Superman. I did like the fact that Superman was fighting, all the buildings was crashing and was.
That's because he wouldn't know how to manage that.
Exactly.
He was killing a lot of motherfuckers.
Yeah,
that's an example of what I'm talking about.
City. Yeah. So I did like that aspect of it, and why Bruce was mad. Like, man, dude,
you did more damage than you did good.
You saving, man. What the fuck wrong with
I did appreciate that in that movie. I think I just didn't see enough of the little things.
Yeah, and that was
the little things. It was like I want to see the little things.
Because he didn't take too much time with the characters, really. He was just
he rushed into the action.
Yeah, and I think if he had focused on that, even a whole movie of calamities of Superman on the aftermath of, even in the Batman aspect, like his background movie would have been dealing with all the this Superman nigga, man. Like, God,
what am I supposed to do with this?
Now what? I could deal, and you talking to Alfred, I could deal with these criminals, Alfred, but this motherfucker here,
he called himself a hero.
Yeah. And what were you supposed to do? So I think if he took too much time, but nah, that's in the past.
We're past that now.
Yeah, we're past that. Gunn said he's not doing origin stories.
And I'm 100% sure we're not going to see any more. This is going to be DC for the next 20 years.
This is DC for the next 20 years. It's already going to be established, and it's already going to be a co-center cut perception of what we know as heroes and what they're doing. Justice League, if it is that, Legion of Doom, if it is that, everything going to be established. So we don't have to deal with
we don't have to wait.
And thank you. We already know who Batman. We already know Superman. There's so many stories and shows.
I do not need to see his parents die again.
Yeah, I don't need to see that shit. We just need to see Superman doing Superman shit and be true to the character. With all of them. Supergirl, bring them all on.
Bring them out. Bring them out.
Bring them out.
Yeah.
So we got things to look for next year.
Welcome to the new era. I mean, we got 2 Marvel movies next year that I'm looking forward to both.
I'm looking forward for both. I'm just be real. I'm looking forward for both, especially with everything. It's just what's going to happen. Back to the Marvel thing. Like, maybe it's not the movie itself, but I want to just see where this go and what's going to happen. Because if Doom coming, I want to see this build up. I want to see.
And we're finally getting to the follow up. And this is what I was trying to explain to people before. Like, the timing is not what you think it is. The first phase of Marvel movies all took place in a week, but they took a year. The time frame for like that first phase, like the first Iron Man movie, that came out in 1 year, right? Then Thor came out, then Hulk came out, then Captain America: First Avenger came out. That was over a period of years, but it all took place in a week.
So all that on the Marvel timeline was a week.
A week. That was called Fury's Big Week.
Oh.
So when everybody's like, "Oh, they never addressed the fact that this hand was sticking out of the earth," that's because the stuff we hadn't got to that part in the timeline yet.
Full revolution of that.
Things were happening all at the same time usually, but the movies have to come out over a period of time.
Yeah.
So we're just now getting to the point where, like, Captain America is probably going to be the first movie that takes place after that movie, after the Eternals,
and all that. So this is setting the new clock. So
we're now into.
This movie is going to be like a Captain America movie. So this is the feel. We're going to get that espionage. We're going to get that. Even that show felt like Captain America. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, those particular movies,
they were different.
Felt a different way, but it was very dope, aggressive, action-packed.
Tom Clancy-esque.
Yeah, Tom Clancy-esque, but it was good, So it was a certain level. That's why I like Falcon and Winter Soldier, because it still carried that.
It was grounded. It was grounded, and it was right there in it.
Yeah, so I'm geeked on that, man.
That's true. Both of these movies are the direct sequels to that show.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting Winter Soldier in one, and we're getting
Captain in another. Captain, right? Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon.
So we get
the American Falcon, huh?
The American Falcon. There you go. But we getting both sequels, and I know Bucky gonna live out of Thunderbolts no matter what. You know what I mean? So we good. We gonna see where these stories go and what's going to come from it. I'm ready. I'm ready,
Yeah.
man. I'm ready. It's about time.
So let's just give everybody a quick update. So this will be the last official episode of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So there won't be an episode next week, or I mean the week after next. Then we'll do one episode the week before Christmas,
There you go.
and that will be the closeout for the year. And we
Yeah.
got something special planned for that particular episode. We gonna recap the year, and we gonna give you the best of the best of what we thought for every area. You know, film, comics,
Culture,
movies.
yeah,
Yeah,
every
the whole cultural spectrum we gonna tap into, and we gonna get the best of the best from our point of view.
some of the worst too.
Yeah, we'll talk about the duds, and
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk
Best
about the
duds of the
flops.
year. The
Yeah,
best
like I
flop.
mean, we already know what the number one is gonna be, but we'll save that.
I was just about
Y'all
to
gonna have
say,
to tune
yeah.
in. Y'all gonna have to tune in next in a few weeks for that last episode, and then so that'll be the end of this season,
Yep.
and then next year, 2025, will be the start of something new.
Something new. And I ain't even gonna talk about the new
Nope,
on the mic.
nope,
You know what I
nope.
mean? We just gonna do it as we usually do. We just gonna do it.
Do what we do.
Yeah, next year we're looking for more growth, more brand expansion, and a lot of things. That's the only thing I'm going to say here. But yeah, we're going to get it in, dude. And it's been a very lovely journey. I'd like to congratulate and thank everybody who partaked in the 100 slap challenge.
Yeah, y'all the true slap gods.
Yeah, y'all the true slap guys, man. We threw that out there just to see if people was going to pick it up, and now it's picking up, man. And it picked up before. Nah, don't give me. We
Yeah,
got good responses, but yeah, now people are recognizing what it is, and yeah, we're gonna do this annually, every year. 100 slap
correct,
challenge.
correct.
Everybody's invited. You know, anyone can step into the arena. If you win it or not, you don't even know you're in it, but you're in it. You know
Yeah,
what I
shout out
mean?
Red Man because he's
Shout out
definitely
to
been
Red Man.
participant.
You kicked it off, Reg.
Yeah, you've been going
You
in.
kicked it off because you've been going in for a minute. So yeah, shout out to him. Shout out Kwame had dropped his dope ass freestyle too. I
Yeah,
chimed in on his too. Yeah, all you creatives just keep cooking.
yep.
And you know, you don't even know you're in the challenge, but you're in it, man. And
Shout
I
out to
appreciate everybody who do support it. Shout out to Pugs, man. That motherfucker dropped, man.
yeah.
That's
You murked that one.
art.
You murked that one.
Going out the park, man. Shout out to Ty. He been doing sweeps week. He's
Oh, sweep week.
yeah,
First
man.
of all, that concert is
Now
explosive.
that was a really dope night. It was it was at the show AM early morning. Um it was the Bourbon on Division if y'all
Yeah,
haven't been out there before. I don't know who was the headliner. I forgot what was the show. Was it a
it-
Fillmore show or Benny the Butcher show? It was some show. It was a show up there.
yeah,
And me and Ty was up there, and yeah, he did songs that he premiered on that show, like Problems with Rashid ID and Melatonin.
yeah,
Shout out to those two. With the song with Sincere, 699, you know, Interrogation, you know, he did Still Here. We did songs that we haven't tough, me, Race, and
yeah.
Ty. That was our first time performing that. You know, the soup kitchen. That was our first time performing that, you know. Um, it was a dope night. It was a dope night. And it goes to show like how it's done, man. We was doing man.
Y'all was in it.
Yeah.
The crowd control, the
Yeah.
energy, the build up,
Yeah.
the dialogue back and forward, both with the audience as well as with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Mm-hmm.
that was like we said, that's a master class. True
Yeah.
masters of ceremony demonstrating how it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all got to
Shout out.
remember that the performance is probably the most important part.
That's the most important. And to me, you know, a lot of people ask that question: do you like making the music or performing the music? I like performing.
Yeah,
I think performing is a little bit it's fun to me, man. I like creating the song and stuff like that. Sometimes I create the song just to
to
perform,
perform it,
you know,
right?
and then when you perform it, it's just a great, it's just like it's just dope to me. It's fun as fuck. Like that's the best fun you could have is performing music and performing on stage and just rhyming, you know, and people like the shit. You know what I mean? Like you're not whack. It's like
And
people
yeah,
fuck with you. I
and
like
going back to what we was talking about, like being the whole thing of light traveling faster than sound.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times where a song I heard it, okay,
Yeah, it'd
but
be
then I
cool.
see it
Then you see
perform.
it is take it to a
Holy sh! Like,
whole
then all of a sudden that song means different. It now hits me
yeah,
different
yeah,
because I
yeah.
had an
You have a different
experience with it,
experience. There you go. Different experience now. Now you got to gain experience with this song, and now it means something and
and
brings a little bit more value, and that's what I like.
that's what the MCs are supposed to do. You're supposed to provide an experience with the
Yeah.
song performance, which then gives a different connection, a personal connection to the song when they listen to it. Now it's more than just a song they heard; it's a song they feeling because they felt it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
They were
And they want to
there,
come and catch that feeling over and over and over again. So they
and
going
and no matter how many times you see a song live, if the artist is dope and knows how to perform, they live.
mm-hmm.
They could
Pharaoh,
perform. Yeah, these people can perform these songs every time. It's a
Red
new
Man,
experience. Yeah,
Method Man.
these are real performers. You know, you on stage mastering that ceremony,
Yeah,
crowd control.
yeah. And you're gonna feel it differently all the times, man. It's just different energy, different moments, and we just take it what it is. And that's what me and Ty usually work on those like standards, those morals when it
Hmm.
comes to like performing and doing stage shows and stuff. And we don't even do it that often, But when we do, if we could do more than 15 minutes, we could do a show longer than 30 minutes and 45 minutes. We could do hour sets. That's something challenging that I haven't seen too many artists do today. You know,
Witty, unpredictable talent and natural
natural
game.
game. And that's the Wu Tang. That's the way. But ours is Necro. I'm wearing the A in the
Yeah,
square today.
yeah,
Ours is Necro.
square
Square
biz.
biz, square biz. So we just cut from the same cloth. And we get it in, and we're not afraid. And when it comes to the stage, we love it. Ty love, I can tell the energy. He loved doing what he do on stage. You
He's
know what I mean?
alive. Johnny
He's
Five is
alive.
alive.
95 alive on stage. And yeah, it's just a blessing to see that played back and seeing people gravitate to it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have no other words. The only thing I want to say at this point is the black man is God. Don't forget.
Hey yo, they launching missiles and shit, man.
What do you mean?
Well, Ukraine is
Oh yeah. Well, he's a fit. Like he's now been determined a war criminal. Netanyahu.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Both of them. One of the leaders of the Hamas and Netanyahu. Both have been identified as war criminals.
But we sponsored those missiles and all that shit. Well, not we, but the US. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Don't
we like flying out here.
listen. Aliens collecting our radio
Yeah.
signals.
They'll not
I
say
was not a
we.
part of
That,
that.
that was I was not a part of that, son. I wasn't a part of
I'm
that.
I'm joking, but at the same time, I'm not joking.
No, that
I do
ain't my
not
fight. That's not my fight.
clearing my conscience.
Yeah, that's not my fight. That's
I don't
not
have nothing to do
mine.
with that.
I have no hands, no blood,
No
nothing.
skin in the
Man.
game.
Yeah, no skin in the game. My name is Hewitt. I didn't do it. So anyway.
Yeah.
So nah, man, there's a lot of shit going. This world is going to be changing. There's a lot of things that maybe depressing to talk about. I don't even want to get into all that stuff, but I just say just be aware. Like we said, watch the facts,
Stay
watch
vigilant.
everything. Keep your eye out. Keep your eyes open. All eyes open. All of them.
I'm
All
the
your
eyes in back of your head to see you, kid.
yeah, man, for real. Get the shit. Opticals. No optical illusions.
Yeah,
See the
don't fall for the
truth.
okey doke.
Yeah. So
You
that's
know.
how we're gonna manifest here because we are gonna take a break. And when by the time we come back, some shit might happen.
Oh
You
my
never
goodness.
know. But nah, man, we just out here having fun. Doing the slap contest challenge. We still be doing that during our
Yeah,
break
keep
and
that
stuff.
going and shout out to Gold Mine out there in LA.
Okay, yeah.
He's about to pull up. I'm expecting big things from you, G.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, pull up.
So yeah, pull up, pull up. Yeah. So
And
yeah,
anybody else that want to join in.
lot of new faces joining in. A lot of people is joining in on the challenge. I didn't know who I didn't know a lot of this shit, but I'm appreciate everybody who's joining in. I appreciate everybody who's listening, who's following us. We're everywhere, so it's no excuses. You can listen to WFNG Fly Nerd Radio anywhere, anytime, any place. I like that shit. So let's close it out, man. I am Cosmo Galvatron, the final boss.
And I am Fly Nerd Ambi, the Hiss Tank Starscream, the full ghetto alchemist.
Ooh, the Hiss Tank Starscream, smashing humans.
Smacking you. Pathetic fools.
Pathetic fools. All right, we out. WFNG Fly Nerd Radio.
Peace.
What you see is what you get.
WFNG.
Fly nerds. You see it and say it. Yeah. You see black excellence and intelligence we now combine. Fly nerds on the verge of connecting the minds. North, south, east, west over digital lines. Catalogs of the culture inside. Seen it with our own eyes. We done been through the trends and phases. The names and the legacy, the changing faces. We can't talk shop, only dealing the truth. You tuning in to the Fly Nerd group, so let the people's in. Yeah.
WFNG.
FNG.
Fly Nerd Radio.
Yeah. So let the people in.
WFNG. Fly Nerd Radio.